We'd love to connect with you. And if you're here in person, you can raise your hand for a nice welcome. I promise you we don't bite people. And if you're joining us online, just put your name in the chat and introduce yourself. So I know that there are new people here, so we're just going to give one big hand clap for all the people too shy to raise their hands. Welcome. After service, we invite everyone to join us for fellowship and refreshments in that place right behind you called the Fellowship Hall. It's a great opportunity to deepen connections. If you're new, feel free to pick up a yellow mug because yellow means hello. It's our responsibility to come and talk to you if you have a yellow mug, not the other way around. Right, Cedarlane? Right. And as we gather in worship today, let's embrace the lively, multi-generational spirit of our community. Feel free to use creative materials that are right outside the glass doors to stay engaged throughout the service. And if you need a listening ear or support, our caring ministry team, led by Tim Persons today, is here for you. And Tim is right over there. Today we're celebrating Diwali, also known as Diwali, the Festival of Lights. It's celebrated by Hindus, Jains, and Sikhs around the world, and this year it falls on November 1st, a time to celebrate the triumph of good over evil, hope over despair, and life over death. Now, in the spirit of love and connection, let's take a moment to greet one another. Turn to a neighbor with a warm hello.
Morning. I'm Rajendran. I'm the worship associate for today. I'm very happy to be with you all today. I'm an Indian male, late 50s, wearing beige pants, magenta kurta with glasses, and I have a French beard. And my pronouns are he and him.
I'm Abhi Janamanchi, he and him, one of the ministers serving Cedar Lane. Visually, I am an Indian male in my 50s, wearing a dark blue kurta, a blue patterned vest, and gray pants. Let us center ourselves, invoking the presence of the divine into this space made sacred by our presence, the divine known by many names in many traditions, with these sacred chants. Om Bhur Bhuvassuvaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat.
We meditate on the radiant brilliance of the divine light. May it illuminate and guide our understanding.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Sishyate.
That is whole. This is whole. From wholeness is manifested wholeness. Taking wholeness from wholeness, only wholeness remains.
Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrutyormam amrutangamaya avirmayedi rudra yatte dakshinam mukham te namam pahi nityam.
Lead us from untruth to truth, from the shadows into the light, from mortality to immortality. O fierce one, reveal your compassionate face. We bow to you, protect us always.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
In our Unitarian Universalist tradition, we light a chalice as a symbol of a shared faith and community. As Anne and Shrikant Seshadri please come forward. As Anne and Shrikant Seshadri kindle the chalice, I invite you to share in the chat where you're lighting your chalice from, and if you're joining us online. Please rise in body and or in spirit, and join me in the chalice lighting words. As we kindle the Diwali lamp, we honor the one light that unites us, shining brightly through our diverse paths and stories. Out of many, one light rises, dispelling despair, igniting hope within us. May this flame renew our spirits, reminding us that adversity we are bound together, shared quest for peace, love, and justice. Within, connecting us, binds us with all that is. Thank you. Please take a seat.
So today we are celebrating Diwali or Deepavali, which means rows of lamps. And usually it is celebrated in India and around the world in late October, early November. And as Reverend Ali mentioned, this year Diwali falls on November 1st. And there are many stories about Diwali that are told and remembered in different parts of India. This is one variation of the story that is more prominent and popular in South India. Once upon a time, there was a powerful being named Narakasura, the son of Mother Earth. Born from the gods, his immense strength and ambition turned him into a tyrant. Drunk on power, Naraka conquered and controlled all the kingdoms on earth. But ruling the world was not enough for Naraka. His greed knew no bounds, and he soon set his sights on the heavens. Even mighty Indra, the king of the gods, could not withstand Naraka's relentless assault. Defeated and humiliated, Indra fled, leaving Naraka to rule over both heaven and earth. But Naraka's hunger for power only deepened, and his cruelty knew no limits. Naraka captured over 1,000 women, imprisoning them in his palace, including the revered Aditi, the mother of Indra, who possessed magical earrings that brought wealth and prosperity to the world. And Naraka believed that by stealing these earrings, he could solidify his power over all of creation. Heartbroken, Indra and the other defeated gods knew that only one being could stand against Naraka, Krishna, the god of love and joy. They pleaded with Krishna for help. Now Naraka, Krishna, that changes the whole story. So Krishna, enraged by Naraka's deeds and especially by his kidnapping of Mother Aditi, vowed to defeat Naraka and restore peace. But he could not face this challenge alone. His wife, the fearless Satyabhama, insisted on joining him in battle. She too was infuriated by Naraka's cruelty, especially toward all the imprisoned women. Together they prepared for war. Krishna donned his shining armor, armed himself with a sharp discus, a mighty mace, a bow, arrows, and a long spear, and Satyabhama did the same. And mounted on Garuda, their giant eagle, Krishna and Satyabhama flew towards Naraka's impenetrable fortress. And as they approached, they faced fierce resistance. Magical mountains rose to block their path, but Krishna shot a single arrow that shattered them. They encountered fire-breathing creatures and a horde of warriors hurling rocks and arrows and stones and mountains and trees. But Krishna and Satyabhama bravely overcame each barrier with courage and skill. At last, they reached Naraka's fortress. And standing before them, Naraka laughed and unleashed a storm of weapons on Krishna. But Krishna was prepared, countering each attack with his own arrows. And in the heat of the battle, one of Naraka's weapons struck Krishna, knocking him unconscious. Now Satyabhama, seeing Krishna fall, felt a surge of righteous anger. She took up her bow and with fierce determination launched a relentless attack on Naraka, catching him by surprise and wounding him severely. And as the battle intensified, Krishna regained consciousness and rejoined Satyabhama, and together they fought as a united force of love and justice, ultimately defeating Naraka. Now humbled by his defeat, Naraka realized the consequences of his unchecked greed and cruelty. He begged for forgiveness, and Krishna, in his wisdom, accepted. Mother Aditi and all the captives were freed, and peace returned to the heavens and earth. Now, the victory of Satyabhama and Krishna was more than a triumph of might. It was the testament to the power of love, justice, and compassion. And this victory of good over evil, of wisdom over ignorance, is the heart of Diwali, the festival of lights. It reminds us that even the strongest forces of oppression can be overcome by the light of courage, love, and righteousness. And so, as we light our lamps this Diwali, may we remember the story of Krishna and Satyabhama, how they stood together, worked together against cruelty and oppression, occupation, and authoritarianism, how they fought for justice, and how their light continues to shine in the hearts of all who celebrate. Happy Diwali. Happy Diwali. All right. Now, as the children and youth go to their programming, let us all rise and join the choir in singing Leah Morris's beautiful song, Be the Light. The words will be on screen.
As we enter this time of sharing joys and sorrows, let us pause, take a deep breath, and ground ourselves in the present moment. Here in community, we welcome the fullness of our human experience, joys, grief, challenges, and hope, knowing that none of us journeys alone. Within our Cedar Lane community, we hold in our hearts Pat Phillips, who's recovering from knee replacement surgery, and Eileen Kane, awaiting a heart procedure at Washington Hospital Center. We send prayers to Bob and Ginger Singh as their dear friend Nancy Egan Van Meter navigates a dire and complicated medical situation. We extended our compassion to the Boyle family, Kami, Richie, Kiran, and Kailas, mourning the sudden loss of their beloved cat, Cubby. We hold Ellen Kelly and her family in our hearts, surrounding them with love and support as they grieve the passing of Jim Kelly, who died on Saturday. We congratulate Reverend Ali Casey Bell on his appointment to the Governor Westmore's LGBTQA Commission. In the wider world, we hold close to all those affected by violence, war, natural disasters, and the ongoing climate crisis. We especially pray for peace and liberation for all people in Gaza, Lebanon, Israel, Ukraine, Sudan, and beyond. As we close this time, I invite you to light a candle in honor of your own joys and sorrows, bringing them into the shared space of care and remembrance. Please come forward as you feel moved, and together let us embrace this sacred moment.
Please join me. Please join me. Now that I've really invited you, please join me in a moment of prayer, meditation, spirit of light, of life, of love, of justice and understanding. What a beautiful day it is today. Thank you for this day. As we are in this community together, holding all of our joys and our sorrows and all of the parts in between, we are so delighted to have other people to hold them with. There are many times in our lives when we feel completely alone. But on this day, in this place, no matter what else is happening in the world, know that you are not alone here. Here, we are held together, connected through light, connected through sound, and connected through the beating of our hearts, knowing the human condition is all of ours to share. So we lift our prayers, or for my humanist and non-believing friends, we lift our shared intentions of humanity together to the greatness that is, hoping that, knowing that, assuring that through this all, we will make it. Through this all, we will thrive. And so may it be. Amen, Ashe, and blessed be. You're invited to share the names of the loved ones that you're holding in remembrance or care as we enter into silence together. You may rise in body, or you may choose to stay seated and speak those names that you're holding in remembrance. And if you're online, you're welcome to share them in the chat. You may be seated.
Thank you, Varun. This is the time of our service when we give and receive an offering to sustain the mission and ministry of Cedar Lane Unitarian Universalist Congregation and an organization that is in alignment with our mission. It's an opportunity for us to make a real, tangible difference. Offering our financial support is more than just putting some money into the plate. It is actually a ritual that demonstrates our investment in our mission and our ministries. And so each pledge, each gift reflects our commitment to a vision of love, of justice, and community. And so together, through our generosity, we empower Cedar Lane to be a force for compassion, for transformation, reaching beyond these walls to create a world where our values can flourish. And on this Diwali, a festival dedicated to light and justice, I am especially moved to share how the Unitarian Universalist Holding India program, UUHIP, embodies these same values, bringing light to communities across India. For over 40 years, this program has empowered change makers, from women uniting for equality and dignity, to farmers joining collectives and raising incomes, and indigenous people sustainably managing their ancestral lands. I've had the privilege of meeting and working with many of these leaders personally over many years, and I can tell you that they are among the greatest change makers that I know. Our friends of UUHIP recently shared with me how climate change is creating profound new challenges for India's most vulnerable communities. Monsoon rains no longer follow their usual patterns, leaving crops to wither or washing them away in floods. With little food left in their villages, millions are compelled to migrate for low-paid, often dangerous urban jobs that keep them trapped in poverty. But UUHIP partners continue their vital work, committed to breaking these cycles despite climate challenges. They're working with farmers and government agencies to identify climate-resilient crop varieties, not engineered in a lab, but preserved by generations for their ability to survive drought. They're also assisting villagers in finding work through state programs that build rural irrigation systems. These programs provide both jobs and essential resources for flood control and groundwater renewal. Together, these initiatives are breathing new life and hope into communities across India. So this Diwali, I invite you to join me in sustaining the powerful work of the Holding India program as it celebrates its 40th anniversary. Your gift, whether given online, by text, by check, or in today's offering plate, will make a real difference. Every contribution, no matter the size, is a beacon of hope. The offering will now be given and gratefully received.
Through Hello. Hello. Good morning. My name is Mimi Majumdar Narayan. Is this working? My name is Mimi Majumdar Narayan.
Are we good? Try it.
Okay. Now can you hear me? Yes. All right. My name is Mimi Majumdar Narayan. I go by she, her pronouns. Just a quick visual description. I am an Indian woman with black hair. I'm wearing a teal, maybe, kurta, and I'm wearing some jhumka earrings, very fancy. So I'm very excited to be here. I am going to first put my glasses on because I'm of that age. I am a Diwali baby. I wanted to share a quick reflection. Yes, in 1974, okay, I just dated myself, Diwali Day was in the middle of November. You see, Diwali is celebrated on the 15th day of the month of Kartik. It won't show up on your calendar. It's the 8th month of the lunar calendar, the calendar used mostly to mark a lot of Indian celebrations and Hindu celebrations. I was born on a day of contradictions, and that's what my reflection will be about today. So it was a day where the dark phase of the moon shows itself, but is countered by the lighting of diyas or oil lamps by millions across different cultures, religions, regions. A cold day in late fall, countered by the warmth of community that comes together in celebration. A day when the generosity of sharing gifts and food with family, friends, and neighbors is countered by the self-serving gluttony of consuming copious amounts of sweet treats. A day when the loud noises of the fireworks signified joy and celebration for us humans, but brings anxiety and stress to our animal friends. A day when the gentle grace, kindness, and serenity of Goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth and prosperity, takes center stage. But, at least in my part of India, is countered with the worship of Goddess Kali, the goddess of destruction and transformation, representing the fierce and primal aspects of the feminine divine, basically the original baddie, the brat. Revered for her ability to destroy and violently root out ignorance and negativity, making way for renewal and spiritual growth. I was born on such a day. So, when Reverend Abhi asked me to speak a little about my memories of Diwali, my reflections led me to the beautiful threads of connection I see in the contradictions of how I have experienced Diwali throughout my life. You see, I grew up in Germany as a kid from West Bengal in the northeastern part of India. I spoke Bengali and English at home and German outside my home. Yes, looking like this. My earliest memories of celebrating Diwali involved a whole host of aunties and uncles. No, not actual aunties and uncles. In India, we call our parents' friends aunties and uncles. From about 6 or 7 other families in that town, just gathered together in an apartment, dancing and singing, just joyful festivities. But in the 1980s, in West Germany, in a town where we were a minority of immigrants, there was always that one uncle or auntie, and even sometimes my parents, who would shush us when we were too loud in our celebrations. Only upon returning to India in my late teens did I realize what a contradiction that was to the way Diwali was celebrated in India in all its grandeur. and skyrocketing decibels across days and nights, and nobody wagging a finger at them. But truly, there was a unique beauty in those contradictions. The innate and somewhat secretive celebration we had in that little apartment in Germany was precious to our self-created, beloved community. While the immensity of the celebrations in India made me feel so intensely connected to my culture and heritage that it helped me find a deeper self. Now, when I moved to this country, I was torn between my inner contradictions of keeping up with the tradition of my heritage while trying to assimilate into this new culture. I didn't celebrate Diwali for several years until one day in grad school, one of my classmates, who happened to be Jordanian, invited me to go to a Diwali party hosted by her and her roommates who were Chinese and Indian. Now listen, of course I said yes, but I was armed with a plethora of judgment, being obnoxiously sure that this was going to be some fake Diwali-ness, and of course, I was wrong. Their house was beautifully decorated with the diyas everywhere, the oil lamps, and they were all wearing beautiful traditional Indian clothes, much like mine today. And there was even an altar that had offerings of Indian sweets, some plain sugar cubes, Chinese mooncakes, and gummy bears for goddess Lakshmi. Yes, gummy bears, you heard me right. The jury is still out on whether Lakshmi actually appreciates gummy bears. It was a potluck, and so the food ranged from chicken tikka masala, which is very appropriate for goddess Kali, to dumplings and baklava. So yes, it was nothing like I had ever experienced as Diwali, but there was so much beauty in this contradiction because in the diversity of food and community, we found our shared humanity, strengthening love and compassion for each other. Diwali to me has always been about the beauty of these contradictions that are inextricably intertwined. How can we see the exquisiteness of light when there is no darkness? How can we gauge the value of long-standing tradition without being confronted with change and adaptation? How do we know that we are listening to the quiet inner voice unless we know to distinguish it from the noise around us? How can we embody a serene and harmonious existence without dismantling and destroying the roots of injustice? Maybe these are just ramblings of an old, aging soul. But when I realized that this year, Diwali and Halloween would coincide on the same day, I could not think of a more poetic example of the contradiction and connection that Diwali has always embodied for me. May you find beauty in your own contradictions. Happy Diwali.
Thank you, Varun, choir, Michael, and Jasmine for, wow, I think this is quite a historic moment, at least at Cedar Lane, for us to have been able to actually transcend cultures, including the contradictions, and find that space between, that liminal space, that interstitial space. Thank you. What a gift. We're so honored and delighted to have Varun Chitnis join us on this Diwali service. Thank you. And thank you, Mimi, for that exquisite reflection. I mean, yes, you are the Diwali baby, and I think you're the embodiment of Diwali in that way as well. It was so beautiful. Thank you. So together, we're celebrating Diwali, the festival of joy, light, and liberation, and considering what this celebration can teach us in these unsettled and unsettling times. See, Diwali calls us to gather, to celebrate, and to reflect on what sustains us, what holds us together, what sustains us through struggle, and calls us to be engaged in the ongoing work for justice and liberation. At its heart, as Mimi lifted up, Diwali is a celebration of balance. It's both and, not either or. It's about the cyclical rhythms of life, the constant dance between joy and sorrow, struggle and renewal. It calls us not to turn away from life's complexities, kind of retreat into our little corners to light our own little lamps, but to actually find beauty, hope, and resilience within the struggle. And one of the most powerful stories at the center of Diwali's tradition is that of Krishna and Satyabhama's stand against Narakasura. Now, Naraka was no ordinary ruler. He was a force of oppression. He was an authoritarian. Controlling and imprisoning the innocent, using his power to spread fear. Kind of reminds you of someone. But Krishna and Satyabhama didn't fight Naraka for personal victory. They fought to free others, to restore harmony, to ensure that justice and dignity could flourish again. Their struggle was about liberation for all people, not just for the few. And this story resonates with the message of the devotional song Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, which Mahatma Gandhi recast. The traditional hymn came from the Ramcharitamanas, which is an ancient, a pretty old sacred text about the Ramayana, which he redid it, not make many changes, except in that second verse that we sang, where it goes, Ishwar Allah Tere Naam. So he added Allah to it. Ishwar means God, and Allah means God. So he shifted the whole tenor, timbre, and tempo and meaning of that song, making it more about Hindu-Muslim unity. So this hymn, Raghupati, calls us to universal compassion, reminding us that regardless how we see and name the divine, be it Ishwar or Allah or Waheguru, Yahweh, God, whatever we call or don't, our ultimate aim is to uphold the dignity and well-being of all people. So this message has never been more relevant, because today we face forces of oppression, authoritarianism, occupation, violence that attempt to control and divide and destroy. Yet Diwali calls us to something higher, not domination, but liberation. And this call to liberation is echoed in the Sikh celebration of Bandi Chor Divas, honoring the release of the sixth Guru, Guru Hargobind Singh Ji, from unjust imprisonment. Guru Hargobind Singh's liberation was not only for himself, he refused to leave until 52 innocent men who had also been unjustly imprisoned by the Mughal emperor were also freed. His liberation was a testament to collective justice, not just personal victory. And so the lessons of Diwali and Bandi Chhor Divas ask us, how do we ensure our pursuit of justice is inclusive? How do we fight for the liberation of all people, especially those most marginalized, most forgotten? Now, in Hindu thought, this principle is known as Loka Sangraha, the greater good of all beings, teaching us that our well-being is tied to the well-being of those around us. And in the Sikh tradition, Ik Onkar speaks to the oneness of all existence. And Guru Har Gobind Singh's insistence on freedom of all embodies this unity, showing that the true leadership is rooted in compassion, in solidarity, and a refusal to leave anyone behind. Also, as the hymn Raghupati implores, we must cultivate sanmati, right-mindedness, wisdom, compassion, plain good sense in all we do. Against systems of oppression, regimes of fear, and everyday injustices, we are called to act with love and courage. So these festivals remind us that the path to justice is through collective action, through solidarity, and through joy. Joy. There is always joy. Joy is at the heart of it. Not a fleeting happiness that ignores suffering, but a joy rooted in knowing we are part of something much, much larger. A joy that sustains us in the long, demanding struggle, because we believe in transformation. So friends, today, as we begin to celebrate Diwali and Bandi Chhor Divas, let us ask ourselves, how can I contribute to the collective liberation of all? How can I help build a world where everyone lives with dignity, free from oppression and harm? These festivals remind us that there is always a path forward, a resilient hope, a path to liberation. They urge us to take stock, realign our priorities, and fully engage in the work of inner and outer transformation. So today, let us commit ourselves to justice, knowing that true joy is found in the collective flourishing of all. Let us carry that sense of balance and joy into our lives and our communities and into the world. And let us carry the spirit of liberation and love into everything we do. And now, let us join together in singing the bhajan Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hari as our prayer and pledge to the greater good, to seeing and honoring the divine in each other.
Thank you, Abhi. Thank you, Michael, for inviting me here. So, we believe in transformation. That's beautiful. I'm looking at this beautiful tree through the glass, and on this side, transformation everywhere. But we do lock ourselves, and it's like, okay, resist that transformation and seeing things as one. So here's a little few lines before that chant of Raghupati Raghava Rajaram. And these are lines said to an angry brother who was locked himself in a room by his younger sister. And she's saying the same thing, that, it's like, whatever it is, it'll pass. So, go with the flow. And because these two siblings are from the 12th century saint siblings from where I come from, India, Muktabai and Jnaneshwar, while saying, while cajoling and bringing her brother outside from his self-imprisoned, self-imprisonment, she also reveals the ultimate truth. She says, Vishwapata Brahmadora, Tati Ugada Jnaneshwara. Whatever we see in front of us is just a manifestation of the ultimate truth. So just embrace it and come out and open your doors. Yogi Pavana Manacha Sahi Aparadha Janacha Yogi Pavana Manacha Sahi Aparadha Janacha Vishwarage Zale Vanni Sant Sukhe Bhave Pani Vishwarage Zale Vanni Sant Sukhe Bhave Pani Shabda Shastre Zale Klesha Shabda Shastre Zale Klesha Santi Manava Upadesha Vishwapata Brahma Dora Tati Ughada Jnaneshwara Tati Ughada Jnaneshwara. Now this chant, Raghupati Raga, the Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hari, there is a 800-year-old pilgrimage that happens in monsoons after the crops are sown. And people are chanting this and walking for some 20 days to a place called Pandharpur. Very simple. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hari, 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 Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hari. Thank you so much. Happy Diwali.
Wow. Thank you, Varun. Here at Cedar Lane, our announcements are not just information about events, they're invitations to help us live out our values, and maybe even have a little fun.
Yeah, we've got some fantastic ways to connect, learn, give, and grow together. So let's dive in.
All right.
Yeah.
So today after service, join us for some lunch and conversation on generosity, which is also a big aspect of Diwali, after the service in the Chalice House, especially if you're curious about how generosity works at Cedar Lane, and also if you are considering being engaged in our generosity team, we would love to have you there. So the generosity team will be present, we'll share some information, answer any questions, and joyously recruit you to be on the generosity team.
Oh, and don't forget to pledge to the 2024 annual fund.
That is correct. So if you are still pondering, as I do sometimes, about making your pledge of financial support, now is the time.
I think they should.
They should?
Yeah, just go for it. Just go for it.
All right.
And it's costume time. The 8th annual Trunk or Treat is at noon in the Culver Street lot. Bring your costumes, decorate your trunks, pack a picnic, and let's make the parking lot the spookiest place in town.
We already have some in the sanctuary.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh, ooh.
And from spookiness to caring, the Caring for the Caregiver Summit will be next Saturday, November 2nd from 9 to 3, right here at Cedar Lane, led, organized, and coordinated by our caring ministry team. It's a free summit for anyone involved in caregiving. And you will get to enjoy a free breakfast and lunch. There is a free breakfast and lunch, and a day of support and resources to help you on this journey. It's a chance to also focus on you as caregivers.
Yes, it's going to be amazing. And next Sunday, November 3rd, during worship, child dedication ceremony, it's an opportunity to welcome children into our congregation and for us to support them on their spiritual journeys. So, Abhi, if you'd like to have your child dedicated, no child is too old.
And no child left behind. And next Sunday afternoon, we will have the other Diwali celebration that Mimi was alluding to.
Yes.
Which is, a celebration of excess and hedonism and joy, and it's all kinds of stuff that'll happen here, right here, from 4 to 7, and you get to enjoy wonderful music and maybe even some dance and stories and delicious Indian food and fireworks.
Yes.
Right, Raj? All right. So join us in Hindus for Human Rights for this joyous Diwali celebration. You can still RSVP, tinyurl.com/DMVDiwali.
Excellent. And last but not least, if Cedar Lane feels like a home to you and you're ready to join us as a member, come see me right after the service at the welcome desk, where you walked in, and let's make it official. We can totally make it a fish.
A fish. It's pretty cool. As we leave this sacred gathering, let us carry with us the light, the strength, and the resolve of Diwali and Bandi Chor Divas.
Yes.
A commitment to justice, liberation, and compassion in all that we are and do. Grounded in the Sikh tradition, we remember Nanak naam chardi kala, tere bane sarbat da bhala. Through God's name, may we rise in high spirits, and may the well-being of all be ensured in your will. And let us rise together with courage and purpose, dedicating to the flourishing of all beings. And in this spirit of unity, let us close with a Shanti mantra from the Katha Upanishad. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu. May we be protected together. May we be nourished together. Sahaviryam karvavahai. May we work together with great energy. Tejasvinamaditam ma vidvishavahai. May our journey be luminous, and may there be no animosity between us. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So may it be. Blessed be.